Willow Creek. Small town, big secret. People here don't talk much. They know better. I just arrived. The fog is thick. It's like the town wants to hide. My name is Sarah. I'm a writer. I heard stories about Willow Creek, ghost stories. I didn't believe them. Not then. I'm here to write a book about the town's history, about the legend. I should be scared, but I'm not yet. The air is cold. I can feel it on my skin. The town is quiet, too quiet. I see a figure in the distance. He's watching me. I walk towards him. I need to ask for directions. He doesn't move. He just stands there, staring. "Excuse me," I say. My voice echoes in the empty street. He turns and walks away into the fog. I find my hotel. It's old and smells like dust. The receptionist gives me a key. Room 13. She doesn't smile. My room is dark. I can hear the wind outside. It whispers my name. I try to ignore it. I unpack my things. My hand brushes against my camera. I need to capture this town before it captures me. I can't sleep. The night is heavy with an unsettling silence, broken only by the occasional creak of the old wooden floorboards. My mind races with thoughts I can't control, and my body refuses to relax. The darkness feels oppressive, wrapping around me like a suffocating blanket. I toss and turn, trying to find a comfortable position, but it's no use. Sleep eludes me, and I am left alone with my thoughts and the eerie stillness of the night. The wind is howling outside. It sounds like a mournful wail, a ghostly cry that sends shivers down my spine. The trees sway violently, their branches scratching against the windows like skeletal fingers trying to claw their way inside. The storm is relentless, and the wind's fury only adds to my growing sense of unease. I pull the covers tighter around me, but it does little to ward off the chill that has settled deep within my bones, and the shadows in my room are moving. They dance and flicker, cast by the dim light of the street lamp outside. Each shadow seems to have a life of its own, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes that play tricks on my mind. I try to convince myself that it's just my imagination, but the fear is real. The shadows seem to be closing in on me, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. I see a face in the window. It's pale and ghostly, with hollow eyes that seem to stare right through me. My heart skips a beat, and I feel a cold sweat break out on my forehead. I blink, and the face is gone, leaving me to wonder if it was ever really there. The fear grips me tighter, and I can't help but feel that something sinister is lurking just outside, waiting for the right moment to strike. It's gone before I can blink. The fleeting glimpse of the face leaves me with a sense of dread that I can't shake. I strain my eyes trying to see through the darkness, but there's nothing there. The night is still and silent once more, but the fear remains. I can't help but feel that I'm not alone, that something or someone is out there watching me, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. I hear a knock on the door. My heart races. The sound is sudden and jarring, cutting through the silence like a knife. I freeze, my mind racing with possibilities. Who could be knocking at this hour? The fear is almost paralyzing, but I know I have to find out. I take a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves, and slowly make my way to the door. I get out of bed and walk to the door. Each step feels like an eternity, the floorboards creaking under my weight. The hallway is dimly lit, casting long shadows that seem to stretch out towards me. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, the fear growing with each passing second. I reach the door and hesitate, my hand hovering over the doorknob. I take another deep breath and prepare myself for whatever might be on the other side. I look through the peephole. There's no one there. The hallway is empty, but the sense of unease remains. I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched, that someone or something is lurking just out of sight. I stand there for a moment, my eye pressed against the peephole, straining to see any sign of movement, but there's nothing, just the empty, dimly lit hallway stretching out before me. I open the door a crack. The hallway is empty. The silence is deafening, and the air feels thick with tension. I peer out into the darkness, my eyes scanning every shadow for any sign of life, but there's nothing. Just the empty hallway and the oppressive silence. I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched, that something is out there, waiting for me to let my guard down, but I can feel someone watching me. The sensation is almost tangible, like a pair of eyes boring into the back of my head. I turn around half expecting to see someone standing there, but there's no one. The fear is almost overwhelming, and I can feel my hands trembling as I grip the doorknob. I know I need to close the door and lock it, but the fear keeps me rooted to the spot, unable to move. I close the door and lock it. The sound of the lock clicking into place is a small comfort, but it does little to ease my fear. I lean against the door, trying to catch my breath, my heart still racing. The fear is still there, lurking just beneath the surface, but I try to push it aside. I tell myself that it's just my imagination, that there's nothing to be afraid of. But deep down, I know that something is not right. I'm not alone in this hotel. The thought sends a shiver down my spine. I can feel the presence of something or someone lurking in the shadows, watching my every move. The fear is almost suffocating, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm being hunted. I try to calm myself, to push the fear aside, but it's no use. The night is filled with shadows and whispers, and I know that I am not alone. The next day, I visit the town library. I need to learn more about this place. The librarian is an old woman. She looks at me with suspicion. "What are you looking for?" she asks. Her voice is a raspy whisper. "Information about Willow Creek," I say. "Its history, its legends." She hesitates. "Some things are best left buried," she says. She shows me to the local history section. The air is thick with the scent of aged paper and dust, a testament to the years these books have been sitting undisturbed. The librarian, an elderly woman with spectacles perched on the edge of her nose, gestures towards a dimly lit corner of the library. "This is where you'll find the town's history," she says, her voice barely above a whisper, as if afraid to disturb the spirits of the past. The books are old and covered in cobwebs. Each spine is a different shade of brown or black, some titles barely legible through the layers of grime. I run my fingers along the spines, feeling the rough texture of the leather and cloth bindings. It's clear that these books haven't been touched in years, maybe even decades. The dust swirls in the air as I pull one of the books from the shelf, the cover creaking as it opens. I find a book about the town's founder. The title, The Legacy of Silas Blackwood, is embossed in faded gold letters. The cover is worn, the edges frayed, but the book feels heavy with the weight of history. I carefully open it, the pages yellowed and brittle. The first few pages are filled with genealogical charts and maps of the town as it was in the 1800s. His name was Silas Blackwood. The book describes him as a visionary, a man who single-handedly transformed a small settlement into a thriving town. But as I read further, a darker picture begins to emerge. The text hints at his ruthless methods, his willingness to do whatever it took to achieve his goals. There's a picture of him. The portrait is sepia-toned, showing a stern man with sharp features and piercing eyes. His expression is one of authority, a man who was used to being obeyed. The more I look at the picture, the more unsettling it becomes. There's something almost lifeless about his eyes, as if they were windows to a soul long gone. His eyes are cold and empty. They seem to follow me as I turn the pages, a constant reminder of the man who once ruled this town with an iron fist. The book goes on to describe his many accomplishments, but also the fear he instilled in the townspeople. Whispers of dark rituals and forbidden knowledge are scattered throughout the text, painting a picture of a man who was both revered and feared. The book says he was a powerful man and a cruel one. It details his rise to power, his manipulation of the town's resources, and his unyielding control over its inhabitants. The more I read, the more I realized that Silas Blackwood was not just a founder, but a tyrant. His legacy is one of both progress and oppression, a duality that seems to haunt the very pages of the book. It says he made a deal with a dark force. I turn the page. The text becomes more cryptic, filled with references to ancient rituals and pacts with otherworldly entities. It's as if the book itself is trying to warn me, to make me understand the true nature of Silas Blackwood's power. My hands tremble slightly as I turn the next page, revealing more secrets that have been hidden for so long. There's a drawing of a ritual. The illustration is detailed, showing a group of hooded figures standing in a circle, their hands raised towards the sky. In the center, a dark figure looms, its features obscured by shadows. The scene is both fascinating and terrifying, a glimpse into a world that should have remained hidden. The text describes the ritual in chilling detail, the words almost seeming to come alive on the page, and a name written in blood: Silas Blackwood. The final page of the book is the most disturbing. Scrawled in what appears to be dried blood is the name Silas Blackwood. It's a stark reminder of the lengths he went to in his quest for power. The book falls silent after that, as if it has said all it needs to say. I close it gently, my mind racing with the implications of what I've just read. The legacy of Silas Blackwood is a dark one, and it seems that his influence still lingers in the shadows of this town. I feel a chill down my spine. The air is heavy, I can't breathe. I look up. The librarian is gone. I'm alone in the library. I hear a noise behind me. I turn around. It's Silas Blackwood. He's standing there staring at me with those cold, empty eyes. "You shouldn't be here," he says. His voice is a low growl. I back away, but there's nowhere to go. He's blocking the door. I can feel his power. It's dark and evil. "You know too much," he says, "and now you will join me in this prison forever." He reaches out to me. His hand is cold as ice. I close my eyes and wait for the end, but the end doesn't come. I open my eyes. Silas Blackwood is gone. I'm alone. The silence is deafening, the kind that makes your ears ring. I look around trying to make sense of what just happened. The library, once a place of knowledge and refuge, now feels like a tomb. The air is thick with dust and the scent of old books, but there's something else, an underlying sense of dread that I can't shake off. But I don't feel alone, I feel watched. It's as if the shadows themselves have eyes, scrutinizing my every move. I can almost hear the whispers, though I can't make out the words. My heart races, pounding in my chest like a drum. I know I need to move, but my legs feel like they're made of lead. The feeling of being watched intensifies, and I can't help but glance over my shoulder, expecting to see someone or something lurking in the darkness. I run out of the library. My footsteps echo in the empty hallways, each step a reminder of my growing panic. The exit seems miles away, and every corner I turn feels like a potential trap. I burst through the doors and into the night, the cold air hitting my face like a slap. But there's no relief, only the overwhelming urge to keep moving, to put as much distance between myself and that cursed place as possible. And back to the hotel. I pack my things. My hands are shaking so badly that I can barely zip my suitcase. Clothes, toiletries, anything I can grab goes into the bag. The room, once a temporary sanctuary, now feels like a cage. I glance at the clock. Time is slipping away, and I know I don't have much of it left. The sense of urgency is overwhelming, and I can feel the walls closing in on me. I have to get out of this town before it's too late. The streets are deserted, eerily quiet. Every shadow seems to hide a threat. Every sound makes me jump. I can feel the weight of the town pressing down on me, as if it's trying to keep me here. My car is parked a few blocks away, but it feels like miles. I quicken my pace, my breath coming in short, ragged gasps. I can't shake the feeling that I'm being followed, that something is right behind me, just out of sight. But the fog is thicker than ever. It's like it's alive. It's holding me here, keeping me prisoner, just like Silas Blackwood. The fog wraps around me, cold and clammy, obscuring my vision and making it hard to breathe. It's as if the town itself is conspiring to keep me from leaving. I can barely see a few feet in front of me, and every step feels like I'm wading through quicksand. The fog whispers to me, echoing the same dread I felt in the library. I know I have to keep moving, but the weight of the fog and the fear of the unknown make every step a struggle. I can't help but wonder if I'll ever escape, or if I'm doomed to be trapped here forever, just like Silas Blackwood. I never escaped Willow Creek, no one ever does. The fog never lifted, and Silas Blackwood is always watching. I'm trapped here, with him forever. The town has its secrets, and now I'm one of them.